And welcome back to Who Will Win, pre-recorded Monday for Tuesday. This one comes to us from Bomber Bro. Well, that's the question. Who would win in a fight, the I-Rex or the Indominus Rex versus King Kong? So right off the bat, we can only, to make this fight any sort of fair, we can only use the Peter Jackson King Kong, because all the other versions of King Kong are far too large for the Indominus Rex to take on. Even like Kong Skull, even like the original King Kong is, and even Skull Island King Kong, we know he gets bigger, but he's far larger than this King Kong. But even like Peter Jackson King Kong is actually much larger than, not the original one, is much larger than the Peter Jackson King Kong. So this is the only one that really fits the idea of how these two would meet in a fight, or be able to fight equally. Obviously King Kong being a giant gorilla, very intelligent, opposable thumbs, very useful. It's very physically powerful, very agile, can take a hit, but based on his battle scars, can also be very injured. The Indominus Rex was a hybrid dinosaur made in Jurassic World. It's a combination of Velociraptor, T-Rex, cuttlefish, tree frog, and a bunch of other stuff in there that I don't know. I think there's supposed to be snake in there also. And some other dinosaurs that they only hinted at. The Indominus was highly resistant to gunfire. Like, it wasn't truly bulletproof, but it did, bullets barely did anything to it. Durable enough to take bites from the T-Rex and keep going without too much difficulty. It didn't go down until the Mosasaurus clamped on it and drowned the damn thing. Could camouflage, could lower its body heat, has a very large, almost unhinging jaw. Had arms that basically had thumbs for a dinosaur. It could grab with its arms, which was very unique. And it was highly intelligent. If these two met in a fight, who would win? Well, really the only thing that differentiates the I-Rex from the V-Rex is A, it's smarter, and B, it's got arms that can grab. But Kong, these two meet in a fight, they collide. I-Rex is going to clamp onto Kong, but Kong has got two very good arms. Actually, legitimately has arms like a human. Be able to grab, throw the I-Rex off, beat on the I-Rex. The I-Rex could throw it off. It could probably throw Kong off to some degree, because the V-Rexes were not, what's the best way to put it? A one-on-one of V-Rex couldn't take Kong on, but it still was able to give Kong a good fight. 3-on-3 they didn't beat Kong, but they were giving Kong a run for his money. And the reason I compare the V-Rex to the I-Rex is because it's the most apt comparison. And size-wise, they were actually within the exact range. Like the V-Rex, which is the T-Rex-esque dinosaur you see in the Peter Jackson Kong, grew to about 40 to 50 feet. That was the length that the Indominus of full grown was going to reach. So it's a perfect comparison. And while the bite force might be greater with the V-Rex, it's impossible to say how strong the bite force of the I-Rex is. Honestly, when you look at their jaws, you can tell that because the V-Rex is allegedly what the evolution of the T-Rex would look like, it had a heavier head, had bigger, just greater bite force with its jaws. It's clear it had a stronger bite, whereas, yes, the I-Rex's mouth is huge, but that doesn't innately give a stronger bite. In fact, if anything, I'd actually say the T-Rex probably had a better bite force than the I-Rex did. The I-Rex just had a bigger mouth is all. Now, the I-Rex does have arms, so it could grab at Kong, certainly, but Kong is physically, its arms are clearly superior in strength than the I-Rex. The I-Rex has got very skinny arms, whereas Kong clearly has, is jacked comparatively. So it would have a much easier time beating on the I-Rex than the I-Rex would have beating on him. It's not to say the I-Rex wouldn't be able to fight back. The I-Rex would certainly be able to get some bites in claw of Kong. But if I have to break it down to who I think would win, I do think it's still the same thing here. Kong beats the I-Rex. Kong could easily break its jaw, snap its neck. Well, not easily, but ultimately, its methods of killing the I-Rex are much more varied than the methods of the I-Rex killing Kong. Because really, when you break it down, how is the I-Rex going to kill Kong? It's going to bite him and maybe claw at him a little bit, whereas Kong can easily do what he did with the V-Rex, snap its jaw, snap its neck, beat him into a bloody pulp until he breaks his skull, smash a rock right into it. And so he's got a lot more options. He's also a lot smarter than the I-Rex because the ape intelligence. So ultimately, I gotta go King Kong on that. And I'd go King Kong in any of the other versions too, because they're just far exceed the I-Rex in terms of size. Even if we scale the I-Rex up to some of the bigger versions of Kong, I would still give the win to Kong, because Kong always seems to face a creature that is similar to the I-Rex in some way. The Skull Crawlers would be a perfect example. He fights a lot of giant monsters in. He fights a T-Rex again, I believe, in the original one as well. He fight in the 70s one. He fights. I can't remember who he fought. He fought Godzilla, and he's going to fight Godzilla again. I'm on Team Godzilla. Here's hoping. So ultimately, I got to go King Kong. What do you think? You think? And we're talking about Peter Jackson Kong, obviously, in this. But again, any of the versions of Kong, I think, would win. But that was the version we were using. But again, who do you think? Kong? I-Rex? Put in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, though. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, What If, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. Hit that bell if you want notifications. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.